Hello. It helps when I turn on the microphone. Welcome to another rendition of Kingdom's Evolution. You would think the host of the longest running show on, what is this, My City, My Music, I had to look at the sign to remember it, would know how to turn on his microphone.
It's our 11-year anniversary
But,
today.
okay, congratulations, Justin. 11 years for My City, My Music. So I've not been on the air for 11 years. But I am the longest running show on My City, My Music. Longest running blog. Hope everybody's having a great day. In St. Louis, it's about 80 degrees, and the humidity's already starting, man. Summer is here. We'll be praying for those cool breezes and that cold weather that we had about a week ago. We'll be praying for it, man. All right, so today's show is called Mea Culpa. And I just want to give you the design of the show and why I'm doing the show this way. So it's a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but I'm designing the show this way because I'm trying to understand the people that have been wrong about everything, and I mean everything. What would they say to us at this point? I mean, how could they capitulate their calculations, their knowledge, their truth? How will they be able to come to the conclusion that they've been wrong about everything? Because we can't get through it. At some point in time, they just keep digging the hole deeper. Like these guys they just keep digging the hole deeper. And people talk about this, Gutfeld and other people talk about this, like they keep going deeper into the hole and getting a smaller and smaller. They just keep getting smaller and smaller. So the title of the show is Mea Culpa, and that's the premise of the show. But what if we are wrong about everything? How would we handle it? And I just want to think about some of the things that we could be wrong about. Like, where would we start? So let's just say, and this is my LifeWave patch, agonizes your copper peptides, mobilizes your stem cells, gets you rolling, man. I love my X39 patch. God bless LifeWave. So let's start at the beginning. Let's say we're wrong about. Let's go with the first one: open borders. So first of all, I'd like to apologize for being so wrong about open borders. So wrong about it. What Biden and the Democrats were doing with open borders, in hindsight, was absolutely the best thing for our country. It would have brought in tens of millions of workers, cheap labor. They would have picked our cotton, picked our onions, picked our tomatoes for almost nothing. We wouldn't have to work at all, and onions and tomatoes would be dirt cheap. And so now that I look back, and it would have increased our population so we could compete with China and India. I mean, and they all would have voted Democrat. A lot of them would have voted Democrat until they got their citizenship, because the Democrats would have just said, anybody that votes any illegal alien, that's another 20 million voters. Anybody that votes for a if you vote for a Democrat, because we're going to make it legal to vote for illegals, we're going to give you a pathway to citizenship. So you'll get all the bennies like Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and free health care, free retirement, all these other benefits for coming here, and you won't pay taxes because you're obviously not on anybody's payroll. I just want to apologize because as a MAGA, somebody who thought closing and securing the border was a good thing for our country. In hindsight now, I see that allowing all these human beings from other countries to sneak in and enter our country was actually a good thing for us. And now I've seen the light. I've seen the light of how wrong I was, and I want to apologize to all you Biden supporters and Kamala Harris supporters and all you Democrats out there, because you were absolutely right. This mass migration from impoverished countries into America would have been better for our nation in the long run. I see it now. You guys were right. And obliterating our border and being basically the epicenter of the world for mass migration was absolutely going to be a huge benefit for us, as I guess we're the Native Americans now, or we would be the current occupiers of this particular piece of land. Would have been tremendous for us and would have fomented the rise of the Democrat Party as a uniparty, as the only party that really existed. And that goes to another thing. I want to apologize for not supporting the Democrat Party. I want to apologize because when I look at the Democratic Party, when I look at AOC, when I look at Ilhan Omar, when I look at Jasmine Crockett, when I look at these wonderful, wonderful people, I have to apologize for being so negative. In hindsight, I see that these beautiful women were just fighting for their constituency. And their constituency would be their donors, which would be the billionaires like George Soros, that they were just fighting and doing the things that they got paid to do, which was increase the size of the government, which you do by increasing poverty, right? So by having millions of people that can't read or write English, slowing down our school system, destroying our education system, by not basically teaching the kids because you've got 100 people in the classroom now that can't speak English. That it was really a brilliant idea that really, because by increasing the size of the government, you take more from the people that work and you give to the people that don't or can't. And you're more humane that way. You're a better person for it. You're just better. And when you lose those bounds, those binds of having a country, like we really don't need a country. We're an area. We're a land space. And if you look at it like that for humankind, like this part of North America, south of Canada, because Canada's don't want to mess with Canada, but south of Canada, north of Mexico, because Mexico's still got a country, but this middle part of North America is absolutely is perfect for the breeding ground of everybody come here, and that would be, I think about the number of abortions that where we could harvest organs from babies. I mean, it would have to increase. You'd have to think, with sex trafficking from the open border, that we'll get lots more organs from the babies for either makeup or for body parts for people that can afford it. I mean, we had so much. I just want to apologize because all the benefits that I now see it. I now see what the Democrats like AOC and Ilhan Omar, I see what they were fighting for. The death to America, death to the Constitution, the end to these laws written by old white people, 250 years ago that tried to spell out freedom for humankind. Like, how ridiculous, right? If you're not going to have a king, then you should have a bureaucracy. And I think here's where the problem was. It's like when our founders, the revolutionaries, defeated the crown, so that we didn't have to bend a knee to a king, to a monarch, to an oligarchy to anybody. Like, we didn't have a royalty, we didn't have a bloodline, we didn't have knights. There was no Marxism. There wasn't Marxism yet. They didn't know that Marxism was a choice when they wrote the Constitution. If they had known that Marxism and just being able to consolidate power by killing people that don't agree with you, if they had known that Marxism was a possibility, that you don't actually have to work, you just have to kill a few of the people that do and point guns at the heads of the other people, and they'll give you what they work for. You let them keep a little bit, but they'll give you what they work for if you just threaten to kill them. And then you indoctrinate them into a system where working for the government is good. We didn't know that system didn't exist. It was working for the king was good, right? It was working for the king, and if you didn't work for the king, they'd kill you. And so our forefathers understood that, but they didn't understand that working for the collective, working for the government was good. And so if they had been around, if Marxism had been an opportunity, 250 years ago, why, by golly, by gum, our forefathers would have defeated the king so that they could, bend a knee for the collective, for people like AOC and people like Ilhan Omar and Jasmine Crockett. They could have done that. They could have written our Constitution like Karl Marx said, for the common man, and that would have been great. And so now we get a chance. I just want to apologize because I didn't recognize this, but now we get a chance. If we follow Nancy Pelosi and we follow Ilhan Omar and we follow AOC, we follow these wonderful, wonderful leadership of women and men like Hogg, David Hogg, and Jeffries. If we just will listen to them and let them put their boot on our neck, so that we work and toil and our children work and toil for the common good, and we let all these illegal aliens in, it's going to be a better world. It's going to be a better world. We're going to nationalize the healthcare system. We'll nationalize all of it, not just the Medicare and Medicaid, which basically has already nationalized most of the healthcare system, but we're going to, because the government pays all the bills. Well, when you have one government that pays the bills, who do the doctors and the nurses and the medical staff and the insurance companies, who do they answer to? They know who butters their bread. And so we would be able to take out the insurance companies, which is what the Democrats suggested a while ago. And now that I look at it, they're absolutely right. Taking out our health insurance and taking out these private insurance. Who needs private? Nothing's private. Nothing needs to be private. You don't need to own your home. You don't need to own your car. It's all ours. It's collective, right? So you pay taxes, you pay fees, but it's not your car. You can't just go out and sell it, right? You can't just go out and sell it. It's not yours. It's ours. And now that I see the light, of my selfishness and my greed for actually wanting to work and own a business and own a car, and I owned a bar for a while and own a house. I see that that's just greed and selfishness. And I see where AOC and Ilhan Omar, I want to follow them. I want to follow them now. They are, forget Trump. Ilhan Omar, Justine Crockett is my new hero. Whatever she says goes. She's got my vote, and that's how I want to apologize to you guys, because obviously I was wrong about the border. The open border was great for our country. It was great for our country. They brought in more disease. They brought rapists and murderers in. They brought sex traffickers in. And I'm 100% like, I was against them sending all these rapists and murderers to back to their home countries of El Salvador, Venezuela, Mexico. but I see how wrong I was. Those people, and they're human beings, right? They deserve dignity. They're just culling the herd. They're culling the herd. And I see where my white skin, because I'm white, that I must be a bad guy. I get that now. I get thank you AOC, thank you Ilhan Omar, thank you Jasmine Crockett. Whew. I get it all now. I see it. I see it all now. I see it all now. And I just want to say how sorry I am. How sorry I am that I had it so wrong, thinking that they were bad people, thinking that their policies were bad, thinking that a closed border would be good for us, thinking that getting the rapists and murderers out of our country would be an intelligent self-preservation act that any human being would understand. But I was wrong. I was so wrong, and I apologize. Look at what global warming, look at what the fear of global warming, look at what our government was able to do. We were able to knock off Americans using cheap oil and gas to put more money in their bank accounts, to enjoy their money doing more vacations, to enjoy their money buying more things that they don't really need. And we can now that I see it, we can just have a list. Like when you want something, you don't just go out and buy it. You email or you text AOC or you text Ilhan Omar or you text them and ask them, like, can I have, it looks like our air conditioner doesn't work today. We'd like to apply to the city of St. Louis and to the state of Missouri and to the federal government. We'd like to apply for permission to buy a new air conditioner. And we don't, for whatever you do, make sure it uses a very safe coolant so we don't cause global warming to get worse. And I get it now. That's how it should all be. Every time you want something, your car breaks down, you need a new car, you need to ask permission from the city of St. Louis, from the state of Missouri, and from the federal government if you are allowed to go out and buy yourself a new car. Yeah, before you buy it. I mean, you still got to pay the taxes and the license and all the things that you have to do when you buy a new car. Sheesh, that'd be crazy to think wouldn't. Like, how else do you think we're going to pay for our roads? But permission, this is just for permission to be allowed to buy a new car, because not everybody should be able, like, somebody should decide whether or not I need to buy a new car. It shouldn't be me. Is my car still running? Like, why do you want a new car? Like, you have to explain why you want something. I mean, I get it. The system that we're using now, where people get to make their own decisions about their own lives, is antiquated and racist. Absolutely racist. 100% racist. Yeah, I understand. So you're saying that black people get to make decisions about what they want, and Mexican people, or as I call them, I guess, red people, or reddish brown people. I don't even know what lighter brown. What skin color? There's got to be, like, is there a Mexican color crayon? What do you call that? You've got white people, you got black people, you got I guess light brown people. Yellow. I guess we go with yellow for the people from the Orient. I guess we can't say Oriental anymore. Asian people. I guess we go with yellow. So. Because if you can call white people white, and you can call black people black, we should have a color. We should have a color for other people, right? If you can call Americans of European descent white, if you can call Americans of African descent black, and you can call, then you should be able to put a color to every skin color. I mean, absolutely. And I think, the Marxists probably haven't thought about this yet. But I think when they put down ethnicity, they'll just forget the ethnicity, and they'll just have a skin color code. Are you white? Are you black? Are you red? Are you yellow? Are you orange? You know, whatever your skin color happens to be. If you use too much suntan lotion, or eat too many carrots, your skin gets orange. You could identify as an orange man. So wrong. So wrong about everything. So wrong about global warming. So wrong about open borders. And do we want to get to war? Because I want to tell you how wrong I was about war. I thought war was a bad thing. But it ends up that war and killing people and being killed is a good thing. It's a good thing. And I had no idea. I had no idea how good war was until I see things as Jasmine Crockett and AOC see it. Now that I realize it, I realize I've been so wrong. I've been so wrong about war. That war is a good thing. And forget Donald Trump for going to the Middle East and trying to bring peace. Forget Donald Trump for going to Saudi Arabia and the Emirates and Qatar and talking about peace and commerce and a better life in the Middle East. Who needs a better life? Human beings are terrible for the planet. They're just terrible for it. And we need fewer human beings. And people like Bill Gates have been, and I love, Bill Gates is now my hero, and I want to apologize for everything terrible I've said about Bill Gates, because Bill Gates has seen this for decades. And for decades, he's been working with vaccine makers to destroy the human population on this planet. And now I see where I was wrong, that human beings are bad. All the waste that human beings create, we breathe the air, we breathe in oxygen, but what do we breathe out? We breathe in carbon dioxide and we breathe out oxygen. Well, oxygen's bad. Oxygen's bad. So even though like we're taking in the carbon dioxide, the oxygen we're putting in the atmosphere is bad. All the human waste that has to go, the trash, the garbage, consuming the water that Mother Earth needs. We are a plague upon this beautiful round planet. And I apologize for being part of that plague. And I just want to apologize. And I just want you guys to know how bad human beings are, and that we should support people like Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden and The View for recognizing just how evil and bad we are for this planet, and that we should absolutely push the vaccines on as many vaccines. We need more. We don't need fewer vaccines. We don't need to, quote unquote, scientifically review the vaccines we have because our children are so much sicker. No. We need more vaccines. We need more vaccines. We need vaccines for things that you wouldn't even think you need a vaccine for. How about eyesight? We'll give a vaccine so your eyesight can't go bad. Oh yeah, that's a good one. How about for lungs, something to do with your lungs? We could come up with a vaccine so you can't get a flu, or you can't. Well, they already have the flu vaccine. Well, we'll think about it. We could come up with a vaccine for your prostate, so that your prostate never gets sick. Oh, that'd be awesome. Your liver, your kidney. We come with a kidney vaccine, a liver vaccine, a heart vaccine. We can come up with a vaccine for every single part of your body. And then we should turn around and we should give that vaccine to babies all on the same day, on like 5 or 6 of them, 8 of them, maybe 10, 12. And if the baby doesn't make it, well, we'll just have more body parts for party members, for people that deserve, that understand the Marxist premise, for party members that need new body parts. And we'll exempt all the party members. Like party members and the doctors and nurses that work for the party, they won't have to get the vaccines. Their children won't have to get the vaccines, because that would be crazy. Why would you give your children untested medicine when they're healthy as an ox? Why would you do that? Well, you wouldn't. You wouldn't, because you're a party member, and you understand that as a party member, you are so much more important than any of the people that are working or that have come here to live off the government. You are their breadbasket. I mean, party members are what allows them, right? Party members fight for the people that aren't working. People like AOC and Ilhan Omar are fighting for more mosques in every city. They're fighting for more handouts for people that don't work. They're fighting for schools that absolutely take God out of the classroom and put transgenderism in. These are my heroes. These let's talk about transgenderism. I was against transgenderism. I thought it was a sickness. I thought it was a disease. But now that I look back on it, telling our young boys and young men that they can be women is a great idea. It creates no confusion. It creates nothing but men who now think they can be women just by taking drugs. They think somehow that God doesn't want them to be who they are. Or wait, forget God. They realize from our education system, from our teachers, and God bless the transgender teachers. Thank you so much for telling our children and confusing them about what their sex was. That's, what would we do without you? Really, you deserve to get a bonus, and really, you should only have to work one of the semesters every school year for confusing the kids like this. I think you're doing a great job. And I think the end result of that at the end of the day is look at our workforce and think of all the additional drugs we're going to get to sell to these very unhappy people as opposed to just believing in Jesus Christ. I mean, how many drugs do you have to sell to believe in Jesus Christ, the Lord our God, the Savior? I mean, how many drugs? Who makes money off selling Jesus Christ? I mean, some pastors make money. A church might make some money. But, I mean, do the drug makers make any money? No. Do the hospitals make any money? No. Who makes money? Like, the church makes money. So, one thing I think once AOC and Ilhan Omar get into it more, they'll understand is like the church is really, we don't really need churches anymore. And churches are kind of siphoning off the money that the government should have so that they can teach our children the boys can be girls and the girls can be boys. And I think that's an absolute great way to move our resources. Close down the churches, make it illegal to be a Christian. The Muslims, we're not going to worry about the Muslims today. We're not going to worry about them. And the Jewish people, we don't want to seem like we're anti-Semitic. So we're going to focus on that. We're going to kind of let the Muslims take care of the Jews, but we'll focus on the Christians and destroying Christianity because that makes sense. Because Christianity doesn't serve any purpose for the Marxist state that we're building, because it leads common people to believe that just simply by believing in this guy Jesus Christ who suffered and died, that they can know eternal joy simply by loving and believing in Jesus Christ. It's a very dangerous philosophy. And now I see AOC and I see Ilhan Omar and I see why they understand it. I get it, and I just want to apologize for being a Christian. I want to apologize for loving my Lord Jesus Christ more than anything else in this life. And I still do, I still will, but just for this particular show, we're going to say that. Let's see, cheap energy. I want to apologize for thinking that lower gas prices, lower gasoline prices, lower heating bills, lower electricity bills would somehow be good for humankind, for Americans. I just want to apologize. I now see why closing the Keystone Pipeline was absolutely why that was the first thing Joe Biden did when he was president. What a great move by Joe Biden. I mean, stopping Donald Trump's cheap energy right in its tracks, going through, taking out all our oil reserves out of the Strategic Petroleum Oil Reserve and just dumping those on the market so that we could use him now so he could get reelected. I thought all these things I am 100% behind. And if you're against any of these things, then honestly, you're just not a Marxist. You're just not a Marxist. Once you see the beauty of Marxism and that people that are Marxists get to take whatever they want from whoever they want through grift, graft, or threats, or murder, or blackmail, or rape. Like, once we have the party, we can all be like Diddy. We can all be like Diddy. What's a woman? What's a man? What's a woman going to do except go to the party and have fun with it? And if you're not, if you're not invited to the party, maybe someone will just drag you to the party or drag your kids to the party. It's Marxism now. And I think I just want to apologize for thinking that all human beings had dignity and that people should be treated with dignity. I want to apologize for all that, because apparently, when you're AOC and Ilhan Omar and Jasmine Crockett, it's not all people that, like, do you think women and children in South Africa that are, we'll call them white, but really they're worse than white. Well, you can't really get worse than white, but do you think they deserve dignity? I mean, just think of the terrible things that happened to apartheid, 50 years ago. Those were white people that did that. And they're white. And they're from South Africa. Oh, they didn't have anything to do with it. They didn't have anything to do with apartheid. But somewhere, because they're white, and they look like the people that did apartheid 50 years ago or whenever apartheid ends, that they've got to suffer because they're white. And I think I just want to apologize, because I didn't used to see things in black and white and red and yellow. I saw things as human beings made in the image of God. But now I see things as AOC sees them. I see them as they see them, and I want to apologize. I want to apologize from my heart that I saw things in a completely different way. What else do we got going on? Cheap energy, global warming, capitalism. Oh, let's talk about capitalism. I finally get it. Capitalism is terrible. Capitalism and this thing Trump calls meritocracy. What a pig. What a pig. He goes over to the Middle East, creates peace. How could he end war? What a terrible human being trying to end war and killing each other. Does he know how many human beings, if he's able to end the war in Ukraine and Russia, does he know how many human beings are still going to be on the planet? Does he even understand what that means population-wise 50 years from now if war doesn't kill off millions of people in Ukraine and Russia? And a lot of those people are Christian. And a lot of them almost all of them are white. The worst kind of human being. So, come on, Trump. We want to, we need to get Trump. We need to get Trump to stop trying to stop war as soon as we can. So we can open the border back up, let the rapists and murderers back in. We're going to fight. We're going to go to El Salvador, and that when we have the money, we'll pay El Salvador to bring all those murderers and rapists back to America and put them in red states. Yeah. Because there will be all the states will be red, but not like red like we know them today. They'll be red like China red. You know what I'm saying? Like China red, China Marxist red. And eventually, since there's so many people in China already, and China's going to have to kill off a lot more of their people than we are, eventually we'll all agree to be Chinese. We'll all agree to follow the Chinese and bow down to Chairman Mao and bow down to our, I'm trying to think of the sect of Chinese that the Chinese Marxists represent. Mandarin. So the Mandarin Chinese. Now those are some human beings that we can look up to. And, this Chinese Marxist government promoting the Mandarin Chinese over all the other sects of people that live in China and making them the best. It's kind of what I envision an AOC and a Jasmine Crockett, they'll just have to figure out, like right now it's against the white people, but eventually they're going to have to figure out their favorite color. Is their favorite color yellow? Is their favorite color black? Is their favorite color red? And then, those will be, whichever color, rises to the top of the thugocracy of communism, they'll be the favorite color. Like the Chinese have the mandarins. And what China might just do is just move all the mandarins into America. They'll just ship them over. And we've got open borders. So that'll probably be the easiest thing to do. And then we'll just let the Mandarin Chinese basically rule all the world. And we'll ship them into Russia and Ukraine after we've let them kill each other off. We'll ship them into Italy. We'll ship them in, we'll ship them into Africa. So the Mandarin Chinese at the end of the day will basically populate the entire globe, and we'll have one world government with Mandarin Chinese, leading all the most important positions, because you can't argue that the Mandarin Chinese are the best. They're the best human beings there are. I mean, just look at what they were able to accomplish under Chairman Mao, what they're able to accomplish under Chairman Xi. I mean, this is a race, a color, whatever you want to. I guess we could call it a race. When it comes, like, we'll have everybody else have a color except Mandarin Chinese, and we'll just call them Sir. And I just want to apologize as a person who's got less pigmentation and is a Caucasoid to all my non-Caucasoid Caucasoid. Sorry, Caucasoid. I think it's CAU. Just want to. Sometimes I said that wrong. Non-Caucasoid human beings. I want to apologize to everything I've ever believed. Everything I've ever believed. That government theft is good. Government theft is good. Drugs are good. Drugs are good. All of it. It's all good. I was wrong just about every single thing. Every single thing. I don't know how to say I'm sorry about being so wrong about everything. Because you must think I'm a total moron. Because here I look at it and I'm wrong about everything, which must mean that you were right about everything. And I'm a lot smarter than you. So how do I apologize to you for being so wrong about everything? And I hear what you're saying. Like, I hear what you're saying is just like, welcome on board, welcome to Team Biden, welcome to Team AOC, welcome to Team Jasmine Crockett. And I don't even know where to begin to apologize to your greatness, to your intelligence, of seeing that all these things that I saw as bad, terrible, horrific, I now see as good. And I guess I'll begin my apology with this show, because I don't know where I would begin if everything I believed in was absolutely wrong, 100% incorrect, and caused misery, suffering, and pain beyond human imagination. I don't know how I would come to you and apologize, because I think I'm better than you, I'm smarter than you, and so why would I ever apologize to you? And as I think this through, I realize it's never going to happen. We're never going to get the apology. It's never going to happen. They're never going to do a mea culpa. These people that have put this pain and misery in our world, they just want more of it. They're never going to stop with their insanity and their lies. They're never going to stop telling you that open borders were good. They're never going to stop telling you that Hunter Biden's wasn't Hunter Biden's laptop. They're never going to stop telling you that Trump is bad. They're never going to stop, because a lying message is all they have. And so I don't know where, unfortunately, there's a lot of people that aren't intelligent enough to see that their brain has been just wired insanely to think that it's good for your kids to be presented with transgender. It's good for their kids to be presented with Islam as a religion of peace. The insanity. But there are people, a lot of them in the media, a lot of them in communications places, a lot of them in places that affect the messaging that goes over the airwaves and to your children, that are just absolutely batshit crazy. And they're the ones talking to your kids about transgenderism, about Islam, about open borders. And they're never going to apologize. They're never going to change. They're not going to do it. I had hoped by the time I got to the end of this show, that I would feel how bad it is to be wrong about everything, to be that wrong, to be that terribly, sadly wrong about everything. But there's only one soul. There's only one way. When you're that wrong about everything, and your beliefs have caused that much misery, there's only one being in the universe that you can apologize to, and that is our Creator. And I didn't know where this show was going to go. I didn't know how it was going to end. And so this is just kind of like off the cuff, because I'm realizing we're never going to get an apology. They're never going to admit they're wrong. They're just going to double down. This is why you see them digging the hole deeper. You see Democrats digging the hole deeper. It's why you see James Comey coming out and say 86-47. Because this is what they want. This is what they want. They want misery. They want pain. They want suffering. And as we struggle, it would be nice if all the oars in the boat were rowing towards a better world. But they're not. They never will be. They never will be. We're always going to have some oars in the boat that are rowing against us, that are rowing towards transgenderism, that are rowing towards higher energy prices, that are rowing towards higher food prices, that want higher interest rates, that don't want you to own your own home, because somebody with money and power is pushing those ideologies, because they either can invade us, they can take what we don't own at a gunpoint, or through misery and poverty, and through just not being able to afford to have what you own. And they think that is in their self-interest. And so they're going to continue doing it. What boggles the mind is the number of people that they have helping them without getting paid. Like, it's not in your self-interest to have a more miserable world. Why are you shilling for Nancy Pelosi? Why are you shilling for AOC? Why are you shilling for Ilhan Omar? Why are you shilling for Jasmine Crockett? It's not in your interest to have death and murder and rape and poverty and higher gas prices. It's not in your family's best interest. You've got nothing to gain here and everything to lose, and yet you still support these crazy ideas that somehow Jasmine Crockett is going to make the world better. AOC, with her ideas, is going to make the world better. You actually believe that in your heart, in your soul? Because if you really believe that, that's crazy. There's nothing that they say, nothing that they do that is going to make the world better. They're all about making the world worse. And to me, the people that are able to frame their messaging and tell their lies and repeat their lies day after day after day on the news media are absolutely the spigot of God, a spigot of the devil, a spigot from hell. Because anytime you watch MSNBC or CNN or ABC or NBC or CBS, and you watch a Democrat talk, it's not true. It's just like they'll say one thing that's partially true, but then it'll all be lies from there. Kids, I started my show a little bit late, and I don't have a solution. I have tried to do. I've done so many shows on this, trying to understand and bring people over from the other side. But if you want to believe that Hunter Biden's laptop was Russian disinformation and not the testament evidence of pure evil in the White House, if you want to believe Joe Biden and then the media just figured out that Joe Biden was incompetent to have the nuclear button at his disposal, if you want to believe that they just figured that out and that Hunter Biden's laptop really is Russian disinformation, if that's the world that you're living in, and that's a world, and global warming is still here, if that's the world that you're living in, you're living in a world that doesn't exist. And that's what communism is. Living in a world that doesn't exist. It just makes everything worse, turns everything to crap. Meritocracy and capitalism and freedom is the only way through Jesus Christ to make this world better. Trump is a great leader. He's a great leader, the greatest leader of my lifetime. Get on the Trump train. We don't want an apology. We just want you to stop rowing. You don't even have to row the boat. Just stop rowing the other way. Just stop rowing the other way. Because the other way you're trying to row the boat is death and destruction for our world. Whew. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.